Good morning, family. Welcome to today's Lessons for Life. Today is Monday, November 9, 2009, and today we're reading in Ezra Chapter 3. And as always, I encourage you to read these chapters through for yourself. See what you get from it. Email us and we'll put it on the blog. But there's two quick points I want to bring up from this chapter that kind of just stood out to me. One, where they remember now rebuilding the house of the Lord, and it says where they're distributing money according to the grant that the king of Persia has given them. And that stood out to me, because now we see, remember before, everything the Lord was really providing for them or taking care of them, but now they actually have to get a grant from the king of Persia. And if we think about even in today's world, I'm thankful that as we started our business and as we grew, we didn't have to get any kind of a grant. Because when you get a grant, that means that you're really looking at someone else as your source, so to say, because they're the one that's granting you this petition or whatever it is that you're looking for. They're granting you this. So we was able to do it without looking to, government offers grants for businesses and so forth, and people really sign up for these grants. But I particularly don't, I never was into it, because I didn't see the government as my source, or the one that is granting me the privilege. It's a privilege that I've been able to start the business, but I don't see the government as a source, but I see the Lord as a source that we was able to start the business and to grow and to flourish and to prosper. So we just see here now how the children of Israel have to, because they're subject, they had to get a grant from the king of Persia to rebuild the house of the Lord. But also, even going down, this is something we spoke about quite a while back, but after they laid the foundation, they talk about the ancient men who saw the original one and how they cried out and they were kind of rejoicing. But it just reminded me of how people up there in age, as they called in the scriptures, ancient men, have seen things and experienced things that the younger generation have not. So we don't want to discard what people up in age have to say, because they have much more wisdom, because they've seen a lot more than people who are younger than them have seen. So, and we remember, like I said, we learned this lesson a little before, because I remember there was a king, I don't remember the name of the king when he became king, and then he asked the advisors of his father, who was king, what to do with a certain situation, and he asked the people that he grew up with, and unfortunately he went with the advice of the people that he grew up with, and it led to turmoil and war, and ultimately his destruction. So another lesson that we can get from this chapter is really, or something that I just thought about, I should say, as I was reading this chapter, is just really holding in high esteem or regard what ancient, as the scripture says, the ancient men or ancient people, I would probably say, what people up there in age have to say, because they have a wisdom that goes beyond our years. We haven't experienced stuff that they've experienced, so they can share some or shed some light on certain things. So we want to definitely remember that, and just keep in mind to be open to even what people up in age have to say. So that's two things I got from this chapter. Like I said, read it for yourself. There's other stuff in here. With that, create yourself a wonderfully blessed day today, and we'll talk again tomorrow.